Storybooks are there to teach your kids to be good. Jonathan Livingston Seagull or Little Riding Hood. But comic books are cooler. Zombie horror, traveling blue boxes. Spike and Buffy Angel if we absolutely must.
Ew.
The name's Samantha Maybe. I'm a Loki-loving Whedon lady.
Don't you call me Sammy or I'll punch you in the face.
Really?
Comic Sans.
Hi there! Today I'm going to review issue number 1 of Diggle and Buckingham's Doctor Who. Diggle. So if for some strange reason you're not watching this channel and you're not familiar with Doctor Who, the Doctor is an alien, the last of the powerful Time Lords. He is in it... Do you hear that?
I'm the Doctor. Well, I'm an avatar of the Doctor's. Well, I'm not, but if it makes you feel better, sure, I'm an avatar.
Well, how are you?
I heard you were going to talk about my new comic book, and I wanted to make sure you got to all the important bits.
Why do you sound just like me with a British accent?
I'm projecting my speech pattern directly into your brain, and it doesn't know what to make of the signal, you see. Spacey-wacy.
I buy it. Well, thanks for stopping by. You want to tell us about the comic?
Ah, yes. I would love to, Samantha, maybe. It's my understanding that the comic opens on London in 1851, with a couple involved in a séance. The wife is trying to contact her dead father. The whole thing is absolute rubbish, and some words are exchanged between the psychic and the husband. He threatens to out her as a fake, and she blackmails him with knowledge of an affair. Naughty boy. Now we see the TARDIS, top banana, and Amy and Rory are apparently celebrating their anniversary. I'm horrible with anniversaries, especially my own. Amy misses her daughter, and I pop in to surprise them with a trip to 1851, the same time we saw the phony psychic. The psychic, named Emily, and her partner are discussing some machine that Emily saw in a vision. She then appears to have another vision, and babbles in some strange language that perhaps even the TARDIS couldn't translate. I'm kidding. The TARDIS can translate anything. Emily states that she saw nothing, and that they must continue waiting, perhaps for another vision. I take Amy and Rory to the Crystal Palace before it opens, because when one has psychic paper, one should use it. As we admire the artifacts in the palace, we hear a strange, somewhat alien noise and run off to check it out. I find a man in a rather marvellous hat, and he's frozen in time. It's very peculiar. Turns out this man was playing around with a quantum resonator, a window to other worlds. After discovering that Emily, that psychic, and her partner Charles built the resonator, we call them into the Crystal Palace. After asking Emily a couple of questions, I discover that she's a telepath. Charles tells me about Emily's visions and the drawing she created of the resonator. Using their own funds, Charles and Emily built the machine, but it doesn't seem to work. I take a closer look at the blueprints and discover that I made a slight identification error. The machine is in fact an Artron capacitor, and I discover a faint source of Artron energy that Amy and I quickly follow. We follow the trace back to the TARDIS, and it turns out Amy's never learned to drive a coach before. Meanwhile, Rory gets grabbed by a strange humanoid figure from the Artron capacitor. Always with the Rory! Well, now that I've told the story, I think you can take it from here. Speculation is such a human activity. Keep up the good work!
Okay, no problem. Thanks for all your help. Doctor? Doctor? I guess he turned it off? I'll just keep this, then. Right, so issue number 1 was a little more than a cliffhanger. As soon as I saw the cover, I was kind of overwhelmed with sadness about Amy and Rory, especially since it was so soon after Angels Take Manhattan. But I assumed they would be included in the comic book series. It was a safe bet. It's safe to assume that these stories take place at some point before the Angels take Manhattan, but since no clear indicator of the time frame is given, let's talk about the possibilities! As we have very little context to the time frame in the current comic, this could be any time, really, post A Good Man Goes to War. It's probably most likely that it occurs during some time we don't see the Williams traveling with the Doctor in the second half of Season 6, after Let's Kill Hitler, or even in the time between The Power of Three and The Angels Take Manhattan. The fact that Amy is so upset about the absence of Melody indicates that it's probably sometime shortly after Let's Kill Hitler, after the revelation that Amy and Rory have in fact been growing up alongside Nels for their entire lives, as Amy doesn't seem quite upset enough that she doesn't yet know everything about her daughter, but justifiably upset enough that she hasn't met her multiple times. I would personally love to know what Amy and Rory have already seen up to this point, and where they are in their relationships with each other and with the Doctor. So I hope that more indications of what point in time all of this is actually happening are given eventually. Despite the fact that there isn't much activity in this issue, we primarily just go from the TARDIS to the Crystal Palace and back to the TARDIS again. The art has a slightly steampunk feel, which is overall enjoyable. And the fact that it takes place in Victorian England, the same place that the new companion Clara Oswin is supposed to be coming from, is really intriguing to me. All of the characters' dialogue sounds like them, to the point where you can almost hear their voices in your head. While it's heartbreaking to see the Williams so soon after their departure from the TV show, it is nice to see them running with the Doctor again. I don't know about you, but I'm certainly looking forward to next month's issue. And maybe the Doctor will activate this thing again? It's kind of frightening me. Cheerio!